All right, let's react to all this. It's only 5 minutes. Okay, here we go. Are we ready? Here we go.
We're back with another dev update video. Today is March 8th. My name is Jeremy, aka Riot Brightman.
And I'm Andre, also known as Medler.
Now, later in this video, we're going to introduce you to another member of our team, Pew Liu, who's the game director of League of Legends. But first, let's talk about some champion updates.
So, as we've mentioned previously, we're looking to do more champion updates this year and in the future. And we want to give you an update on one particular types of those, mid-scopes. Champion updates, they're not one size fits all. Different champions have different needs. For some, it's the art, for others it's gameplay, for some it's both. And mid-scopes are a focus on gameplay in particular. Champions where we think we have a lot of opportunity or a lot of problems to fix. Now that we've got Yuumi out of the way though, she jumped to the front of the pack as a bit of a problem in all skill levels across League, we can focus on a few other champions. And right now we're working on Rel, really trying to help her live up to her mounted knight, lancer fantasy sort of thing that we think's pretty compelling but not quite there. Nico, with still pursuing her passive that lets her transform into a wide range of things across the rift, wards, minions, monsters, etc. And Ivan, looking particularly at some usability changes for Daisy there.
Okay.
We'll have more on all of those at a later date as well.
Now, even though Skarner is not a mid-scope, we wanted to give you an update today. Skarner has been taking us a while because, let's face it, he has a lot of challenges. The Brackern, the crystals, the scorpion of it all, none of these are super clear. None of these are really that compelling for players. So we've been asking ourselves a lot, what do we want to keep or change from his kit?
It's definitely the Spires. Keep the Spires. Everyone loves them.
It's not the Spires. So Skarner's been taking a little bit longer, like I mentioned, and so he's going to come out later than we had hoped. But today we're going to provide some more information on how it's going. So we've got a blog coming out that will go into more of our high-level goals, and as well as some thinking about our game design changes, narrative updates, and new art direction.
Now, when it comes to skins and event themes, something we're pursuing this year is trying to get more new themes being explored. The first example of that, Fairy Court, should be either out on PBE or going live soon by the time you see this video. We've also got a couple of new themes though we're exploring for larger events coming in the moderate future. One of those will be MSI in May, and the other will be the larger summer event in the middle of the year. In addition to exploring new themes, we're also making some skins for champions who just haven't got some in a while and need a bit of love. Udyr, Shyvana, and Mundo are the new three to call out there. And finally, skin-wise, we actually want to call back to the Wild Rift skin transition thing we talked about last time. It's looking like we should be able to get the first set of skins over from Wild Rift sometime around July at a rough guess. In addition to Star Guardian Seraphine, who we mentioned previously, we're also looking to bring over Star Guardian Senna and Star Guardian Orianna. Redeem Xayah and Rakan will then follow in a later batch later in the year.
So something we've seen you ask a lot about lately is the Blue Essence Emporium. So I wanted to give you a quick update on that. Last year, we announced that we were going to take it down, do some technical work on it before being able to bring it back to you all. So we've been working on that. We've revamped the tech that supports it, and we're aiming to bring it back this summer. That's not a guaranteed timeline, but it's looking very likely. That version that you see this summer will be pretty similar to how it was before, even though it's going to be functioning a lot differently under the hood, so that we can make some cool changes to it in the future.
And now we'd like to introduce Pooh, who we mentioned earlier, who's going to talk about some of the longer-term investments and decisions we're making for League.
Hey y'all, I'm Pew, aka Pew Pew Lasers, and I'm League's game director. My role on the team is to help us understand and serve League's diverse audiences. Whether you're a master level ranked player, which I am not, an ARAM main, or someone who's just excited to play your favorite champions in different ways in League of Legends. What y'all want from League changes over time. And as the team working on League of Legends, we need to learn with you and change with you in order to give you guys the best experience possible. As Kozak says, change is good. So an example of change coming up is quick play. Blind pick is the least popular queue in League of Legends, and it's actually getting worse over time. We want to evolve that into quick play in order to give you guys what you want about blind pick in a better way. So similar to the old team builder, we're going to allow you to choose your favorite champion, your favorite role, and you're guaranteed to get at least one of those in your next game. The queue's gonna pop, you're gonna see which champion or role that you got, and you'll go right into the gameplay. We're excited about this, and we're gonna test it in a few regions in the coming months.
It's actually pretty good.
Like the direction.
Yeah,
if you do,
that sounds really good actually.
Sure
that is one of the coolest changes that I think that they've ever made. If they could allow you to circumvent champion select, if they could allow you to circumvent champion select, and just load right into a game, and it cuts down a lot on the game timer. That would really help people out who just want to play Summoner's Rift instead of ARAM. That is a really good change.
Another thing that's going on is that starting on April 4th, League will no longer be supported by 32-bit operating systems, meaning that players will have to move to 64-bit. Now that sounds kind of scary, but this actually impacts less than 0.1% of players worldwide. If this affects you, you'll get a message starting in patch 13.7. This allows us to help move League into the future.
Good.
There's a couple of areas we're immediately targeting, such as improving security features, anti-cheat, and bot detection.
Good.
Ultimately,
Amazing.
this allows for bigger dreams, bigger possibilities for League of Legends, and we're excited about what we can do with experience. That's it from me. I'll hand things back to Medler and Brightmoon.
As a reminder.
So one of the things that I immediately think of is that, like, we need League in general. We need the average. So here's the problem with Riot that they face, and I think it's the same problem as World of Warcraft. They can't upgrade the graphics and everything like that because of, like, the operating systems and the equipment that a lot of people play on. But I do think that League of Legends is due for some sort of an update. I do think that we need another client. Or not another client. The current client is actually so brokenly overpowered, it doesn't make sense. So here's my hypothesis. I told you guys on the walk with Riot Froxen that I asked him a question, and I'll tell you exactly what his answer was. His answer was that even if we are, I can't tell you, which is a perfectly normal response. However, I did ask, is League of Legends being rebuilt? And what I mean by that is, so one of the issues with a lot of the balance in the coding and why changes happen the way that they are, sometimes why bugs end up happening, etc., is because of the old spaghetti code. And that they have to keep using that spaghetti code and all this other stuff. One of the ways that they would be able to change this, as well as increase the total memory that the game uses, because the lack of memory that the game is able to use affects the champions that they make, the skins that they make, the visual effects that are allowed to occur within the game, and it's another reason why map skins are not, like, something that we're, I think, getting. And I don't think the map skin thing was explicitly said directly to me, like, in that conversation. But he did make it sound like there is limitations to what you can add to Summoner's Rift because of the way that the current engine is. And obviously, if League of Legends is rebuilt and it is a totally new game with different code, then you'd be able to do away with all of that, and we'd be able to get skins, and we'd be able to get all these other cool new things. And I do think that maybe that's something that's on the horizon.
Check out the blogs we've got on Midscopes and Scanners VGU, which are also out now.
Okay.
We'll be back to check in with you again soon. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you on the Rift.
Thank you all.
Okay. So that was that one. Let me just check how we are doing on time. So let's go into the mid-scope update. So we're gonna read about Rel really quick. Doesn't seem like it's super big. And then we will read about Skarner really quickly. Okay, so the mid-scope process and Rel. Hello there, Summoner. One from Terra, Riot Yasuna, producer on Summoner's Rift team. Though many of you love calling us the balance team, as a producer on Summoner's Rift team, I help navigate our developmental processes and keep them on track and organized. In addition to that, I'm also delivery lead for mid-scope updates and have been helping the champion team with one of the mid-scopes as well. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about. Last year, August shared that we are doing mid-scope updates for champions who aren't living up to their fantasies. We checked in since, and it's been a while since we last discussed them in depth. Today, I want to discuss on the process to shed some light on how mid-scope work in general, since that's my job. And I talk a lot about that before I pass things over to Champions team designer Steven Riot Raptor. Okay. Mid-scope process. Before we outline the process, the main goal of the mid-scope is to give these champions who lost a bit of their shine over the years or become problematic in the game. We use this as the North Star when deciding, finding the right opportunity. We use a combination of both data and passion to help find the mid-scope targets, exploration and kit lock, planning, coordination, iteration, refinement, and polish. Mid-scoping the Iron Maiden. Hello, I'm Riot Raptor and the game designer on Rel's Midscope, and I'm here to tell you where everyone's favorite Metal Mancer is at her update. We think Rel has an exciting fantasy and playstyle, swapping between mounted and unmounted forms, true. And while she is a strong champion, she feels overly punished when she misses W. She doesn't quite match expectations for what a mounted Lancer might do. This means that she didn't fully capture the audience that might have been interested in her. So when evaluating what mid-scope opportunities were out there, Rel was near the top of the list. We settled on a few goals to help her live up to her potential. Lean into the mounted-dismounted fantasy. Let Rel feel fast, like when she's charging enemies while mounted, okay, cool. And let her feel like a formidable fighter when she's dismounted, cool. Increase play pattern variance. Give Rel more options in lane and team fights besides landing W, and make sure that while she's dismounted, there are useful things she can do. Cool. Sand off some quality of life issues. We've heard your feedback on some of the more frustrating parts of Rel's kit, so we want to keep to help alleviate some of them. We want to smooth out things like poor warding clearing and not being able to use E wall alone, and Q having reduced power on subsequent enemies. Okay. All of that sounds really good. And Rel used to be a lot faster when mounted and was called the Int Horse because of it, which was a very fun playstyle. The challenge we ran into during her mid-scope was how to let her feel fast without turning into too much of a roamer during laning. We also tried a bunch of ways to make her dismounted form feel more empowering. In one version, she had a 3-hit pass, so we are legally required to try this on all champion. Legally required? Really? What? Turning her into an infinite pain train, constantly dismount. What? And then we found that making Q much more stronger and impact in both forms. Mid-scope roadmap. Let's address the cat in the room. We heard players' concerns and frustrations with the state of Yumi, and after the decision to hand her some sizable nerfs, we also bumped her up to the top of our top update priority list. Yumi's rework was not a mid-scope, but it still required some of the same resources to get done. But the trade-offs of the champion mid-scopes like Nico and Rel, who were announced a while ago, haven't made their way to you yet. But up next, you can look forward to mid-scopes like Nico, Rel, and our favorite friend-shaped tree, Ivern. No, dude. Every champion I play, almost. Like, hold on. Let me just make a notepad of all the champions that I've played that have been, like, mini reworked or just changed outright. Pantheon, Shaco, Tom Kench, Mordekaiser. Who else? Fiddlesticks was another champion. Vladimir was also another champion. What other Rise? I used to play a ton of Rise. Who else? There must be. Is there any other champions that I play? Oh, Malzahar. Malzahar was another champion that ended up getting mini changes like consistently. Soraka was another champion. Dude, so many champions that I've played. This has just happened to, and now Ivern is gonna end up having this happen to him, and that's obviously so sad. Syndra was another one. Syndra was obviously another one. I maybe there's more if I actually go down like the entire list of champions. But this is really sad. I think this is really sad. So I do hope that they don't touch Ivern too much. Daisy is his like least fun spell, and it is very difficult to control. So you know maybe having Daisy be changed up is fine. Okay. All right. We move into how long do we have? Okay. Oh, we're in draft. Okay, never mind. All right. That is pretty much it. And guys, just like the Skarner Sting, and currently everyone's love for Skarner. I'm going to react to him at a later date, okay? He's getting put in the backseat, just like he always does. Tell me I'm not on point. Tell me I'm not on point. Okay, we're going to ignore him. That's it for the reaction.